Welcome back, family. Before the video starts, I just want to thank all my channel members for the support. Never disturb old land.
Did you see what's happening on the Asthma Ranch?
What is that?
They recently started excavating on the land to get a small lake, but as they were documenting this process, things started to not go as planned. As they continued to document their work, members of their team started going missing and they started seeing strange things. They've been posting their findings on this YouTube account. And I don't know if this is like skinwalkers or evil spirits, but you need to think twice before messing with old land.
If there were no cameras, you'd never believe this lion actually lived. You have no idea how much of a legend this cat is. That's Jacob, and an incident with a poacher steel trap turned him into a tripod. Wow. 6 months later, his entire family was poisoned by poachers, with body parts likely sold on a black market. But of course, like a true main character, he was the only one to survive. But the chances of a three-legged lion missing its pride can survive may not be zero, but it's low enough. And it'd get lower, because 3 months after that, the three-wheel drive feline got a hole put in by a vindictive buffalo. So at this point, he could have written his own eulogy. He was halfway to a was. But rock bottom has a basement, and Jacob found it, because after all that, Jacob and his brother got jumped, and as line rules dictate, he now had to leave the territory or it'd be end of story. The only way out was by swimming through almost a mile of hippo and croc seasoned hell in the Kazinga Channel. That's not Jacob, and he survived that, by the way. Jacob beat the odds, but the odds had hands and they were swinging. Somehow Jacob and his brother swam through waters no amount of money could ever make me touch, and did it at night, and as a reward on the other side, that Jacob's built different. I'm talking genetically sequenced alternatively, and the lion that stood up death has now fathered more cubs than any other lion in the park he's in. He's also part of the rare population of tree-climbing lions in Uganda, and yes, he's still doing it. Just when you think the F3 can't go on any longer, Jacob continues to leave death on red. Death can have Jacob when it earns him, and after over a decade, it's still not worthy.
Yeah, that's a quite interesting story. It's crazy too, because you see in a video that like he's even missing a part of his tail. You know what I'm saying? Like that lion has definitely went through a lot, and it's crazy that he even lived through missing just a leg. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of lions would not be able to live through that.
When someone named Vlad is telling us about vampires, I'm
guessing she's talking Putin. They are used to for centuries to stuffing their bellies with human flesh and their pockets with money. But they need to understand that the vampire's ball coming to an end.
Can you pick me up from school? I'm scared. Yeah, this is my driver.
Man, what?
Yeah. I didn't know that Putin would be the good guy in 2026. Our common enemy is vampires. Banana. Whatever.
Yeah, ever since the Epstein files got released, a lot of these conspiracy theories about the elites eating humans have been going around crazy. And we've seen videos of, you know what I'm saying, of people screaming and screaming about how they're eating humans, but no one really believes them. So it's kind of crazy to see that stuff like that is coming out now for the public. Neverland was built to protect children. All right, let's see it.
Michael Jackson built Neverland to actually protect the children from the Hollywood Satanists, to give them a safe place to go. I want you to listen to this right here.
I'll never forget that. Michael Jackson saved me from getting on a plane to that tiny island.
Wow.
So they're saying Neverland is where Michael Jackson took children to protect them from what was being done on Epstein's island. And because he was going against their regime, they punished him and they flipped the script and made it appear as if he was the one abusing them.
Wow.
Now this all starts to make sense once you look into the files and you realize Michael Jackson was never in the files. You have celebrities like Macaulay Culkin who came out and said that he was trying to protect the children. He defended Michael. And when you start to look in to what Michael was saying and how they were slandering him and how he would never do the things that the media was saying he was doing, you could see how genuine he was. You could see how much he loved children, how much he was trying to protect children. That's why he built Neverland. He knew what was going on in Hollywood. He was right beside all of it. He was seeing it with his own two eyes. So he was trying to protect them. And this is the 101 script, guys. When someone is trying to expose and protect what these elitists are doing, they will flip the script. They will slander that person. That way it takes the, image off of them and they can continue doing what they were doing. It was the opposite. Neverland Ranch was the opposite of what they said it was. He was trying to protect the children this whole time. Now, Michael's been gone for a long time now, but one thing that I've always realized in this journey is the truth always comes to light at some point, and people are waking up to this truth, to realize that this guy was a legend. He was trying to protect all these children, save them, built this ranch with his own money, took his time to save the children. So we need to pay him our respects. We need to pay him our apologies for anyone that thinks anything else, because he was a legend and a king. Peace and love.
Yeah, it is always sad to see that Michael Jackson was the one that got framed when the whole time it was Jeffrey Epstein. It's crazy how they flipped the script on him, because even to this day, I still don't think he did what they accused him of, and he did get found not guilty.
One of the most interesting historical facts I've ever come across is that back in the Middle Ages, humans used to put animals on trial a bunch. And there are tons of documented cases of this. Okay, the year's 1474 in Basel, Switzerland, and a rooster is put on trial for laying an egg that some people believe could hatch a basilisk. This thing. They ended up concluding that the egg was indeed a supernatural threat and contained a basilisk inside. So they formally convicted and executed the rooster. Okay, now we're in Autun, France in the year 1522, where a bunch of rats have been put on trial for destroying barley crop. Now, since these rats are going to court, they needed representation, but they couldn't afford any representation because they're rats and they can't talk and they don't have money. So the court appoints the rats a lawyer named Bartholomew Chesney. Court day comes, Bartholomew is on time, but guess who wasn't? The rats, because why would they be there? So the judge is like, yo, Bartholomew, like, where is your client? Bartholomew proceeds to argue that it would be unreasonable to expect the rats to show up today. And you may be going, well, obviously, but the argument was that there are too many cats in the street and that they may die if they tried to come. Not that they're rats, but because there were too many cats.
Yep, this man learned a hard lesson.
Whew, I am pooped. What the hell? On the way to the hospital, I can barely see.
I can't believe that I have to make a video covering this, but guys, please do not let laundry detergent get anywhere close to your eyes. The video that you guys just watched shows a TikToker pranking his dad by pouring Tide laundry detergent on his head after a run. The video then cuts and he's sitting in the vehicle stating that they're going to the hospital. His eyes look like they're about to swell shut. Now, apparently a lot of people didn't know this, but laundry detergent is actually a basic or an alkaline chemical. This has the ability to burn you, kind of similar to the way acid on the other end of the pH spectrum can also burn you. They burn through different mechanisms of action, but regardless, they can cause severe damage to your eyes, nose, and throat, all of these being soft tissues. It's actually pretty common for children to get into laundry detergent pods and end up hurting their eyes pretty bad. It's not very common for adults to willingly pour it onto their soft tissues. In any event, if you get laundry detergent in your eye, either by accident or on purpose, rinse your eyes out immediately for 15 to 20 minutes, and if pain and blurry vision ensue, go to the doctor immediately. This can cause long-term damage.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's been obvious for the longest, never really to put laundry detergent close to your face or your mouth or inside your mouth. People have been doing this for years with the Tide Pod challenge, where they start eating laundry detergent. Like, what are you doing? Sylvester Stallone spotted in grocery store.
Okay, this video of Sylvester Stallone is blowing up on Twitter right now, and there's two camps. One is, oh wow, a celebrity in public, woo! The other, which may be a little bit more vigilant, watch right here. He refuses to touch the receipt. Now, is it a coincidence? Or do these celebrities, some of them, know things that the masses don't? Now, it's one thing to be aware of GMOs and fluoride, but when you go down the thermal paper rabbit hole, or thermal receipt paper, because it's not just receipts, you find out something shocking. It is a plastic chemical that has coated these receipts, and when you touch them, they say, we know that we're supposed to eat out of BPA-free cans. Apparently, even touching a receipt, you get like a lot more BPA absorbed into your bloodstream instantly than eating out of a, can of tuna that was cooked in a BPA-lined can. Very unfortunate effects from hormones to fertility, neurological, and reproductive problems. And the crazy part, triclosan, which is commonly found in hand sanitizer and soaps, is alleged to increase the absorption rate of BPA by a lot. And what do most people working retail or, grocery store? They got hand sanitizer and they're touching receipts and they're using it all the time. So what do you think? Do we know this and Sylvester Stallone doesn't? Or do we know this and he does as well? That's why he didn't want to touch that damn receipt.
Dude, there could be a lot of reasons he didn't want to touch the receipt. My main thing is like, he might have just not want to have a receipt. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's kind of annoying to keep receipts around. So he might have just been like, honestly, just keep the receipt or just throw it away. I don't want it.
7 chilling facts about the Tupac confession tape. Number 1, Tupac's murder wasn't random. It was a hit. Of course, that's according to the confession tape of Keefy D. He was pretty high up in the Southside Crips as a boss, and apparently that's who P. Diddy paid to set up the hit. And he told P. Diddy he could do it easily for $1 million.
Wow.
So the night that Tupac was murdered, he was in Las Vegas to watch a Mike Tyson fight, and the crazy thing is, so was Biggie. And this was at the height of the whole beef between Tupac and Biggie, and Bad Boy Records and Death Row Records. And Keefy D was there with his crew and his nephew Orlando Anderson, who is apparently the person who actually pulled the trigger on Tupac, but we'll get to that in a minute. And quick backstory, at this point, the hit has already been put on P. Diddy, so he met with Keefy D like months before and was like, hey, I'll give you $1 million to take him out. But apparently the hit also included Suge Knight. But technically it might be the second hit that P. Diddy put on Tupac, because he also got shot in New York at P. Diddy's studio back in '94. And even in Tupac's book, he thought that it was the Bad Boy Records crew. So they all ended up being in Vegas for Mike Tyson's fight that weekend, but they weren't actually there to do the hit on Tupac, according to Keefy D. That just kind of happened. So what happened earlier in that day was there was a confrontation between Orlando and one of Tupac's crew, but Tupac wasn't there. But apparently Orlando was trying to take the dude's chain. According to Keefy D, P. Diddy had hit them up and said to grab a death row chain as a way of like antagonizing them, so that's what Orlando was trying to do. So after Mike Tyson's fight wrapped up, everyone was in the hotel lobby, and Tupac ended up seeing Orlando and like instantly ran over and started beating him up, and that got caught on surveillance. So that's what put into motion for them to go ahead and put the hit out. They knew that Tupac was going to be performing at a club called 662, so they decided to go get some guns and wait on him there. Tupac left and was cruising around with Suge. They were driving down the strip in their BMW blasting music, and they actually got pulled over by the cops and got told to turn down their music, and then a bunch of girls spotted them. So Keefy D, his nephew Orlando Anderson, and 2 other people were at the 662 club waiting on Tupac, but he never showed up. So they decided to go get some liquor and drive around and wait for him. So they were driving to the store, and they ended up seeing Tupac's BMW, and they heard the girls screaming out Tupac's name, which is what caught their attention. So they flipped a Yui and then pulled up next to him, and then Orlando Anderson started shooting. The way Keefy D explains it this so casually is pretty chilling, and the way he describes it is messed up as well, saying that Tupac was like dancing around trying to jump into the back seat. And then they drive off, but they don't go far. They said they literally were across the street when the ambulance arrived, laughing and smoking.
The Tupac death always interested me because it's a situation where like Tupac knew that these $1 million bounties were on his head, but he just didn't care. He just didn't give a flying, you know what I'm saying? And I also believe the fact that Biggie was never really a part of Tupac's death or any of Tupac's shooting. It was more about P. Diddy, because P. Diddy was trying to move like a mob boss back in the 90s, along with Suge Knight, because Suge Knight was also trying to move like a mob boss, kind of like bullying artists and stuff. My least favorite things about space, part 20.
Least favorite things about space, part 20. Everything you see is in the past. And I mean literally everything. If you were sitting a meter across from somebody having a conversation, you were seeing them nanoseconds in the past. The difference is just so small our brains don't even notice. Then the further away, the more noticeable it becomes. The moon, we see about a second in the past. We see the sun about 8 minutes in the past. And if you pull out your telescope and look at Neptune, you're seeing it 4 hours ago. If you lived on Proxima b, a planet orbiting the closest star to the sun, you would see us 4 years ago. What were we doing 4 years ago? If you lived near Sirius, the brightest star in the sky, and looked at the Earth, it would be 2017. Bad and Bougie was #1 on the radio. Everything was fine. If you were near the star Vega, you would see Earth at the turn of the century. If you looked at Earth from the North Star, you would see Shakespeare just starting to break into theater. If you looked from Betelgeuse, you would see Earth during the Renaissance. While we're on the subject of Betelgeuse, it's been speculated that Betelgeuse blew up hundreds of years ago, and the light is still on its way here. Now let's get really crazy. If you saw the Earth from the LMC, a small dwarf galaxy orbiting our galaxy, you would see Earth in the last ice age. If you saw us from Andromeda, the closest full-size galaxy to ours, you would see us going from looking like this to looking like this. And if you looked at the Earth from the cosmic horseshoe, home to one of the biggest black holes we've ever found, you wouldn't see the Earth at all, because it didn't exist yet.
That really put into perspective like how crazy light just travels. We could look at a planet that's like ages down the line and we think like, oh, you know what I'm saying, they're just little like monkeys that are just walking around, like, you know what I'm saying, they're harmless. Then we pull up on them, they have guns, spaceship, rocket ships, nukes.
In the middle of the night in 2019, a home security camera captured a small humanoid figure casually walking down a driveway before disappearing. Vivian Gomez originally shared her strange footage on Facebook saying, "So I woke up Sunday morning and saw this on my camera, and I'm still trying to figure it out. Has anyone seen something like this on their cameras?" The creature's appearance sparked instant comparison to the house elf from Harry Potter, which has now earned the nickname the Dobby alien. Except this wasn't CGI from a Hollywood movie. It was a grainy, real-world home surveillance camera.
That's definitely somebody's kid with like some pants on their head and just walking around.
The most evil, demonic brands in America today, it's Crumble Cookie. Gasoline is probably cleaner than a Crumble Cookie. The owner is making millions of dollars off this product and really poisoning the American people.
And she's not wrong. Crumble isn't just selling cookies. They go viral on social media, market to kids, load their products with sugar and toxic ingredients, and then disguise them as treats. One cookie can top 700 calories and over 87 grams of sugar. For adults, that's already over 3 times the daily recommended limit. And for kids, the American Heart Association says they should have no more than 25 grams a day. So one Crumble cookie is giving them more than 3 days worth of sugar in just a few bites. So what's inside these processed treats?
There is over 30 ingredients in Crumble Cookie? My main concern is, why is there red 40, yellow 5, and blue 1? The cookie isn't even red, yellow, or blue. They just be adding stuff just to add stuff, bro. I swear.
Bleach and processed flours, processed sugars, seed oils, preservatives and artificial flavors, and food dyes you wouldn't even want in your kids' finger paints. Oh, and this is the same brand that teamed up with the Kardashians, glamorizing that pink box full of toxins and calling it trendy. Bottom line, this is not dessert. This is a chemical cocktail disguised as a cookie, made to fatten their profits and destroy your health. So think twice next time you decide to eat one.
I've been to Crumble Cookie a couple times, and yes, they do have really good cookies, but dude, I eat half of a Crumble Cookie and I already feel sick.
This Baltimore hotel was a place where sailors came to die, and some people believe they never left. What's up? I'm Becca. I like to talk about ghosts, haunted places, and the things that people like to think aren't real. Today is day 2 of haunted hotels in Maryland, and today we are talking about the Admiral Fell Inn. Fells Point dates back to the early 1700s. The Admiral Fell Inn is made up of 7 different buildings from that era. For centuries, sailors stayed here after long, brutal voyages at sea. Guests report seeing apparitions of sailors floating through the halls, knocking on doors in the middle of the night. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and known someone was at your door, but when you opened it, no one was there? People hear footsteps and lights flickering on and off. Clocks are known to go off at 3 a.m. And sometimes guests swear that they hear men singing. But the most unsettling place is room 413. Guests in that room say the energy is heavy and dark. People feel watched, touched, and unable to sleep. Some people refuse to stay the night once they step inside. So let me ask you, would you stay here overnight? And if you had no choice, would you dare sleep in room 413? If you've been here, if you've had an experience here, leave me a comment down below. I want to know. Make sure to check back for more haunted hotels in Maryland this week. See you back tomorrow and stay spooky.
Breaking news, Apple is being sued. What's new? Nothing.
Apple's being sued, so if you've ever paid for iCloud storage, this is for you. Apple's in this lawsuit because allegedly they have a monopoly on their iCloud storage, so they basically do not let any other third parties come in and back up our important data. And the judge denied Apple's motion to dismiss, which means this case is moving forward. So if you paid for Apple iCloud storage anytime after March 2020, you are eligible for a payout. I saw this one pop up in my Settlemate app. It's not open to file yet, but it will be, and I'll make an update video the minute this goes live. So like, save, share this with anyone else. You can file on Settlemate. You can also Google this when it opens, Whatever you do, do not miss this payout from Apple.
You guys hear what Congress passed? The government's ability to remotely turn off your car.
Why would they want access to that?
Well, they say it would be a safety thing, so if someone is impaired, law enforcement can turn off your car.
That's not good.
No.
That's terrible.
Well, and also if they get a little greedy and they shut off everybody's car.
How does this get allowed?
The thing is supposed to apply to car manufacturing moving forward. Every car will have the turn-off switch.
Which is why we have a zombie apocalypse truck.
They've been able to do it for a long time, so just at some point they needed to be like, oh, we're never going to do it, but now if we have to.
They've got a plan, dude. There's something happening. Because they could turn off our phone, locking or unlocking doors. But what if there's a gas leak and they're passed out in there and we need to help them? We can unlock your doors. It's like, no, I don't care. Leave me be.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, I'm like,
take it back.
Wow.
Take it back.
Yeah, I've said this in so many streams, videos. Privacy is dead. If the government really wants to come in and take anything that you own, they're gonna do it. And what can you do? Nothing. You know why you can't do nothing? Because we have microwaves on helicopters that could fry your brain. We don't need any sort of bullets. We don't need any sort of bombs. They can literally just fry you with waves, with frequencies. And what are you gonna do? No. Subscribe. I'm just saying, chat, we're cooked.
Some schools are starting to cancel picture day, and the reason why has most parents asking the question that no one thought to ask in the first place. Who owns the company that's photographing my children in school? Now, it all started with Jeffrey Epstein's relationship with a man named Leon Black. This guy's a billionaire. He paid Jeffrey Epstein $150 million for financial advice, and he also owns a hedge fund. This hedge fund acquired Shutterfly. Shutterfly is a company that owns LifeTouch. LifeTouch is the company that photographed most of us growing up in school during picture day. Now, parents started to get worried after this started circulating online. They started reaching out to the school saying, hey, we need to cancel picture day because I feel uncomfortable with LifeTouch photographing my children in school. Now, some schools ended up canceling picture day, but Shutterfly and LifeTouch, they released a statement saying that Leon Black, he never even had access to any of the data or any of the pictures in the first place. But it's just wild, the stuff that's coming out every single day and the connections. Like, it's just the stuff that you never think about.
If you don't. The Epstein files mentioned Syracuse University nearly 65 times. But here's what really happened. When that number started going around, it was a bit concerning because 65 times sounds huge. If you skim the findings, it may just seem like Epstein was just donating to SU. But with the evidence we have now, we know that's not what happened. Between 2009 and 2012, Jeffrey Epstein wrote at least 4 or 5 checks to Syracuse University, totaling about $106,000. Wow. But what were those payments for? Well, student journalists at the Daily Orange found that there was no evidence supporting any deeper financial relationship between Epstein and the university, other than him simply sponsoring the tuition for his pilot's daughter. At the time, there was no indication of SU officials knowing who was behind the payments. Follow for more Syracuse stories you didn't know you needed.
This is a photo of a hanging doll taken on Disney's It's a Small World ride. According to the story, a mom snapped this picture in 1999 while visiting Disneyland with her family. They were suddenly evacuated from the ride for no reason. So before leaving, she took a few last-minute photos to finish off the roll of film in her camera. But this story is completely made up. The photo wasn't taken at Disney. It's actually from a Chinese knockoff ride.
Dude, Disney is so expensive. I don't even know if going to Disney in at least Orlando is even worth it, to be honest.
I'm sure it's just a coincidence, but King Solomon used these sigils to be able to trap demons and use them to build his temple. I know it sounds crazy, but it's real. And or they believe this. And for some reason, computer circuit boards also follow those same patterns that almost look exactly like these sigils. And maybe I'm connecting too many dots, but I think that's weird because El means God, at least in the old translations. El meaning spirit or God, electricity. I don't know. Maybe I'm kooky. This is my driver. Has anyone else noticed that? I broke my Game Boy once and I could never unsee the circuit board, you know? It was so upsetting. Here we go.
Would it be crazy if the only thing keeping Crocs in business is people's lack of knowledge as to what they're made of? And I'm not even joking, and this extends past just Crocs, but let's start with them, because this is absolutely insane, especially when you consider so many children are wearing these with bare feet all the time. So highly toxic lead and phthalates, which are such potent endocrine disruptors, fertility disruptors, it's freaking crazy, were found in rubber boots and shoe charms intended for use on Crocs and Crocs themselves. So even those cute little bumblebee you jam in the hole on the freaking Croc, even that is like completely toxic. But here's the crazy part. It says here that they did a wipe test, which is just wiping it, and it produced roughly 5 times the allowable daily amount of these toxins for infants. So I thought it was just if you're bare feet in Crocs, like that's bad. Your foot's sweating, the warmth of your foot is like activating these chemicals, you're absorbing them right into the soles of your feet. But here's the crazy part. It's not just Crocs, it's not just boots. If you go to get any mainstream, I'll tell you, find an organic company, because if you go to a regular store and buy splash pants, winter gear, plastic clothes, polyester, it's not just that it's made of plastic that sucks. It also is coated in PFAS, PFOAs, forever chemicals, which act as water repellent. Now, is wearing Crocs going to completely gimp you? Perhaps not. But what about when you're wearing Crocs, drinking fluoride, eating GMOs, showering in tap water, drinking tap water, eating pesticides, putting your phone to your head, wearing AirPods, sitting next to your Wi-Fi router, brushing with fluoride toothpaste? Like, these things add up. Now, the question is this all just one big coincidence? That everything in our modern world, unless you're specifically seeking out the good stuff, is unfortunately toxic? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more.
Is it better to know these things or to not know these things? You know what I'm saying? Because they be saying that ignorance is bliss. But I feel like the people that know these things will be so stressed out they'll take precautions not to be involved with this. But then on the other hand, you have the people that don't know and don't really care, that's living their life kind of stress-free, that I feel like would genuinely live longer because they're exposed to less stress because they care less. I don't really even know how to go about any of this. Today's mass shooting caught on tape.
Yes, those are gunshots, and what you're watching is the mass shooting that just took place at the Dennis Lynch Arena in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. 2 are dead and at least 4 are wounded. When is enough enough?
Be crystal clear. Every single dinosaur skeleton you see in a museum is fake. What they show you are casts and models, not real bones. The original bones, the remains of a certain flying beast that's been documented all throughout history, mentioned by every single ancient culture. Yeah, dragons. The bones from previous resets and catastrophes and whatever other genetic monstrosities the civilization before us created in their eugenics labs are locked away, unavailable for independent research. Shocking, I know.
Didn't call them dinosaur, they called them dragon. The word dinosaur wasn't made up till 1841. It's a brand new word in the dictionary. I got some old dictionaries and looked for the word dinosaur. Even in 1891, the word was not in the dictionary. They called them dragons. Bible mentions dragons 34 times.
Dinosaurs were invented during the 19th century, at the same time that Darwinism was being promoted as the new account of life on Earth. The coincidence was deliberate, because the creation of enormous reptiles from the imagined ages before mankind gave dramatic form to the theory of evolution. Without dinosaurs, the public would have struggled to imagine millions of years filled with anything meaningful.
Rare video of Michael Jackson testing a camera.
Frank, I'm just trying to see if this thing works. 1, 2. I'm not a narcissist. Just trying this mirror effect, testing the camera, seeing how well it works. Doo-doo. Up ahead. What? 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. I'm counting the thing. 1. Your thing's blinking. Something's weird about this. Something's weird here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2.
I don't know if it's just me, but for some reason I felt creeped out by watching that. I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, I like how he said I'm not a narcissist. I mean, I didn't think you're a narcissist because you're looking at the camera, but I don't know. That whole segment was a little bit odd. His nose also looked a little bit weird in that. I mean, I don't know if that's just like the angles or the camera specifically, but something was just throwing my eyes off about that.
When was the last time you saw Selena Gomez? Why do I ask? Because she's got a new music video out, and she's also done several interviews over the past week. But the one problem is, there's more than one Selena Gomez, is what people are saying. Why do I say that? Take a look at this. Who is that in this picture right here? Is that Selena Gomez? These stills are from one of her latest music videos. But this is why people are concerned. You see what she looks like in these photos. Now take a look at her in some of these interviews recently. Who is that in the interview? That's not the same person I just showed you from the music video. Take a look at what she looks like in this interview. Is that Selena Gomez as well? And then there's this Selena Gomez, straight off of her own TikTok account. Do you notice something different in every video and every photo? Here is Selena Gomez in 2024. That's Selena Gomez in 2025. So can someone please explain to me then, who is this Selena Gomez? This is the Selena Gomez we're all used to seeing. This is not the Selena Gomez we're all used to seeing. So the question needs to be asked as always, has Hollywood claimed another celebrity? So the question needs to be asked, is there more than one Selena Gomez? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments.
At this point, there's probably so many different clones of so many different celebrities because they can clone people. I'm not even fully sure how the whole cloning thing works, but they have talked about in the Epstein files how they replaced Joe Biden before he died, which is crazy because he's not even dead.
Did you know that on the morning of 9/11, George Bush Sr. and Osama bin Laden's brother were in a meeting together at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Washington? I recently stumbled upon that information, and I was like, there's no way. But you know what? Everything is a lie at this point, so I'm not even surprised, but I'm disappointed. I'm really disappointed. This is my driver. Yeah. Okay. Okay, what am I supposed to do with that information?
Why do celebrities crash so hard?
Do you ever wonder why the most successful people often suffer the most spectacular downfalls? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this happens and how to prevent it from happening to you. It all comes down to the human shadow, which operates on a strict law of balance, much like a seesaw. When you identify too strongly with your bright acceptable persona, such as status and achievement, the parts of you that don't fit that image get pushed into the shadow. The shadow will then attempt to manifest life circumstances that will make these dark aspects come up to the surface, often leading one vulnerable to a sudden destructive eruption or other type of downfall. Essentially, the higher the pedestal, the more your primitive suppressed energy looks for a way to knock you off it. Jungian analyst Marie-Louise von Franz proposed a simple solution for this, which she called the quote, garbage ritual. The concept is simple. Immediately after a major triumph, you must voluntarily perform a lowly, earthy task, like literally taking out the trash or scrubbing a floor. By consciously handling rot right after tasting glory, you symbolically pay your debt to the darkness and ground your ego. This symbolic act of humility provides the necessary counterweight to your success, which prevents the seesaw from flipping and ensures the shadow doesn't have to manifest a catastrophe to get your attention.
I'm not gonna lie, I can honestly get down with that. I could see that being a possibility because there have been a lot of things where like all these super famous, super rich, super high achieving people end up crashing over something crazy, whether it's like you know what I'm saying, with the Epstein situation with him and kids, another situation where other celebrities got exposed for certain crazy things. And I can see it being possible that, you know what I'm saying, doing something that grounds you could bring you back to kind of like a reality. 7 dark facts about America's first serial killer.
Behind me is a photo of America's first serial killer, H.H. Holmes, and he built what became known as the Murder Castle. And I got 7 dark facts about his story. Like number 1, he hired over 500 contractors to build the hotel over a year and a half, that way no one could know the full blueprint. And that's because he was building weird things on the second floor like soundproof rooms that were airtight with gas lines leading into them. There were stairs and hallways that led to nowhere. There was doors with locks on the outside but not on the inside. He bought a furnace and had it placed in the cellar, and when they asked him what it was for, he said it was for bending and blowing glass. But some of them questioned about the size, saying that it was pretty small. It was only 3 foot by 8 feet long. And get this, the gas lines that led to the rooms on the second floor that were airtight, he was able to control those from his personal room on the 3rd floor where the nozzles were in his closet. So basically these rooms were gas chambers, and he would pump them full of gas when there was someone in there, and then he would crawl inside the wall where there was peepholes where he could sit there and watch them. And he made sure there was special locks on those doors that were only on the outside, not on the inside, so they couldn't get out. He also had a walk-in vault placed on the 3rd floor across from his office, and it was outfitted with gas lines and a viewing port as well. He bought the vault on credit at the beginning of construction, and when the creditors started hounding him for not paying, he said that they could take it back, but it was already installed, so any damage that was done to his house, he would sue them. So they did the calculations and they realized that they should just let him have it. He ended up using that vault to unalive at least 10 women. Majority were his wives or women that worked for him.
Yeah, that is crazy. I mean, 500 different workers just so he could have like a sick and sadistic. I mean, he probably had money, because if he could hire workers and build like a whole, basically quote unquote hotel to like do these crazy sadistic things, it's like, dude, you're crazy. He was probably like in the 1800s Epstein or something.